What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to Challenge Your Boy Jared. Y'all, shout out to Fox News. Apparently, the migrant that pulled that illegal U-turn in the middle of the Florida Turnpike, he was denied bail, which he should have been. But, look at this.
Illegal immigrant involved in a crash that killed 3 people is in a Florida jail. Will stay there after a judge denied his bond just hours ago. The case prompted the White House to act after the suspect obtained his license despite failing English and road sign tests. Madison Scarpino is live with this story. Hi, Madison.
Hi, Rich. 28-year-old Harjinder Singh had his first court appearance this morning after that deadly Florida crash. He's facing 3 counts of vehicular homicide, 3 counts of manslaughter, and he has not yet entered a plea of guilty or not guilty. Today's hearing was quick. There was a translator for Singh interpreting everything the judge was saying, and this is why the judge says Singh cannot have bond.
The defendant is an unauthorized alien, a substantial flight risk, and there are no conditions of release that will ensure your appearance at trial.
Now, all this comes after Singh allegedly killed 3 people on a Florida highway earlier this month. Video shows Singh making an illegal U-turn in an 18-wheeler while a minivan crashes into the truck. After the crash, officials say Singh fled back to California, but Thursday, he was extradited back to Florida, and Fox got this exclusive video of his arrival. Singh was escorted by Florida Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, and Governor Ron DeSantis tells Fox Singh is going to face serious justice. Now, questions still remain as to how Singh was issued both a California and a Washington state commercial driver's license.
You know, at this point, I think that there needs to be a federal board that goes through every U.S. state to figure out how these people are getting these licenses. Because we found out about the one in Kentucky. California, Arizona, I know Texas isn't one of them, but there needs to be a federal commission that goes through the public, that goes through all the licenses that's been processed within the last 10 years, and make sure every license that was issued to a driver that speaks English fluently and can actually read and speak it. When it comes to commercial licenses, there needs to be stricter standards. How did these people get these licenses? Because we know California is corrupted. We know that from a fact. Gavin Newsom down, California is corrupted. Kentucky, we found out that these people were basically paying off the staff to get their license processed, running the scam operation. That was Kentucky. How else are these people getting these licenses? That's what these people need to find out.
And all of that is under investigation. In the meantime, Governor DeSantis says the federal government is revoking the business license of the trucking company that hired Singh.
Look, things can happen in business. This is a guy that didn't understand English, and you're putting him in charge of this massive vehicle, and obviously the consequences were deadly.
And now Secretary of State Marco Rubio is pausing issuing worker visas for commercial truck drivers altogether. Rich.
Madison Scarpino live for us. Madison, thank you. Let's bring in former acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Jonathan, this truck driver is in an awful lot of trouble, huh?
Yeah, and this is such an upsetting situation. And the thing that's so bad about it is, like, we've seen so many of these that it's totally preventable. He should have never had a license, certainly not a commercial driver's license. And you do wonder what's going on in California and some of these states that issue licenses to illegal aliens. If they don't read English, if they don't understand street signs, aren't we all in much more danger? And I think Marco Rubio is exactly right. Hey, let's suspend this and make sure people that are getting commercial driver's licenses are safe on our roads, and also protect American workers to boot.
Yeah, and we're talking about operating an 18-wheeler here. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's much thought or care into that fact, and what a not a weapon, but what a gigantic risk that can be.
Yeah, and do you think there would be a high standard for these types of licenses, or certainly a minimal standard where you can read road signs? And it just shows, is everything, when you think of California, everything seems to be about illegal aliens and making their lives better instead of the American people and their public safety.
Just up the road here in Maryland, we've got Kilmer Abrego Garcia. He's home now. Or he's back in Maryland with his family. Does ICE deport him, do you think? Because he's still on the hook for a trial for human trafficking in Tennessee, and there's an order to keep him here. So they brought him back. Are they going to see this process through, do you think?
My guess is he will get deported, and he may soon be the Ugandan man in maybe a matter of days. But it just shows that there are a couple things that are interesting with this judge releasing him on bond, the Tennessee judge. When you compare that to the Florida judge, one thing that is almost a non-starter for bond is somebody has ties to another country, not a citizen, they're detained. So ICE is going to, I believe, remove him because it's in the safety of the American people. And he's on house arrest now, which means he has an ankle monitor, and all you have to do is cut that off and walk out the door, and he could commit another crime. So I think they will deport him. He'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. And part of all this conversation, too, is as the administration ramps up this illegal immigration enforcement, they've got to find places to put people before they try to deport them. And Alligator Alcatraz down in Florida now had a pretty significant court ruling against it, saying that they've got to basically hold off for now. So how much does that hamper what the federal government is trying to do? And do you think that case could successfully be appealed by Florida and the U.S. government?
I think it will successfully be appealed, and I think it will not stop the Trump administration. But what's interesting about that case is it was brought by an environmental group supposedly trying to save panthers and storks and things like that. And you really think, if your interest is making the lives better for panthers and storks, then you wouldn't spend so much time trying to keep more illegal aliens in the country. It's a total big pretense for a lawsuit. I think everyone knows that. And the whole issue here is this was a state facility, and now they're arguing it's a federal facility, so it has to go through all these federal environmental regulations. But remember, the panthers and storks were totally fine when it was an airport, and really, they don't care if it's an airport or detention facility, and they're probably better off with less people in their environment anyway.
And you look at what the federal government's trying to do.
Okay, they didn't gotten way the fuck off guard. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they're even talking about. But okay, I guess whatever. So old buddy was denied bail. Now I'm gonna say it like this. He needs to be held accountable for his actions. The trucking company needs to be held accountable for hiring him and putting him into an 80,000-pound semi-truck. The workers that processed his application, his licensing paperwork, they need to be held accountable too. In both Washington State and California. California Governor Gavin Newsom needs to be held accountable because he allowed this shit to happen. So, from the top down, everybody needs to be held accountable. And for all the trucking companies that are hiring illegal migrants that can't speak any English, they need to be shut down and their fucking license needs to be revoked, and they need to be fined a hefty penalty. Because if you're hiring drivers, that could be a public danger to everybody around that truck. And there's millions of people on the roads every day. If they're allowed to be on the road and operate a vehicle of that size and magnitude at those highway speeds, you need to face the consequences. Don't run like a little bitch. No. You want to be bold and put an illegal migrant for cheap wage into a big ass semi truck. You need to be willing to pay the damn fees and get your license revoked when you do some stupid shit like that. Because we all know that's dangerous. I'm gonna keep my eyes on this, but this is insane. This is insane. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, channel, support the podcast, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening. Bye, guys.